Hi everybody and welcome to the second day of I Love My STEM Career. Today we are in the Ormeau Baths and we are talking to loads and loads of STEM professionals about their jobs for Northern Ireland Science Festival. So next we are joined by Conor McKay, who is the Learning Centre lead for the very exciting W5 Science and Discovery Centre, one of my favourite places. So how are you, Conor?
Yeah, very good.
Good.
Very good.
I want to talk a wee bit. I know we're talking about science and tech and STEM careers, but your background, your degree is economics and finance, but you're now working on development for W5 for their new kind of science and learning and discovery centre. So could you tell us a wee bit about your career journey, maybe kind of from that, you know, leaving end of school up to where you are now?
Yeah. So I had sort of done sort of my A-levels. My original thought was to do actuary because I enjoyed the mathematical side, but unfortunately I didn't get in. There's quite high grades there, so economics and finance it was. But I quite enjoyed that. So I did that for 3 years, and then I did what was called an Assured Skills Academy. So that's run by sort of the government. There's a lot of them out there. There's some in cybersecurity. I did mine in data analytics. So just heavy on the numbers, sticking with sort of that numbers, economics, finance area. And with that, I was straight out of university, graduated, 8 weeks training there, and then I joined PwC, PricewaterhouseCoopers. So within that, I worked in forensics. So it was software forensics. So again, that data, numbers, investigative analytics sort of thing. Really enjoyable, sort of getting out in front of customers. Did that for about 2-3 years. And in my time there, we had a program called Hive Hackers, where we went out to schools and just inspired kids with STEM and technology and science and coding. So with that, I got a real interest in that, just volunteered with that. And then within PwC, then I moved to the full-time sort of education team. So we were going through that, just really enjoying that. And then the pandemic hit and of course affected the world and everything we do. And with that, we went a lot sort of virtual, online, as a lot of sort of that STEM education sort of stuff did. And then the opportunity came up for W5. And they're starting just opening a new learning centre here in May. So it's out there at the Odyssey, big, brand new. So I came in just to look at the programming for it, work with all of our partners, and just get it sort of up and running. And inspire kids through W5 is where I've sort of ended up. And I think that's where I want to spend sort of the rest of my career. So it was quite windy. I was in industry, working the long hours and working with the data and the numbers, and now I'm sort of in the other side where I'm sort of kind of providing for kids and students.
And you know, obviously you're doing that work with young people now. So was the point where you decided that was for you when you started to do that outreach type of thing with your work? Was that the kind of deciding factor?
I'd always an interest sort of in working with kids as well. I'd sort of Camp America before and summer schemes, and my part-time job was a party host at a leisure centre. So
party ghost?
Host.
Oh, I thought you said party ghost.
No. So so the kids came into the leisure centre. I was like 16, 17, and we just took them to the bounce castle and did all that. So I always had an interest there. Of course, just went sort of more academic and sort of economics, finance, was maybe going to go to London and do something sort of big in investment banking or something like that, or actuary. And then just sort of end up in software, sort of enjoyed it. And it was just sort of the reward that I got out of that sort of piece working with kids. I really, really did enjoy that passionately. So that's what sort of I stuck with. Big difference sort of in careers there as well, especially when I'm working now for sort of a charity, voluntary. It's maybe a lot less sort of money and stuff like that, maybe progression as well. But I really did enjoy that. That's what I'm really, really sort of passionate about. So that's what I have. And luckily I have sort of the experience before. So kids are asking about, well, what's it like working in a massive global company? I can say, well, I know I was there and I did it. So great experience. And
what about the kind of qualities? Obviously, your role is quite unique. You know, for everyone that we're talking to today has very unique roles, but yours is different again because it's kind of working with kids, but it's also tech, and you've had this big business background and things. What are the kind of personal qualities and attributes that you feel are really doing you justice in the role you have at the minute?
I think my main role is bridging a gap between sort of students, teachers, and sort of the industry and sort of third level education there as well. So I'm in the middle there, and they say, well, we want kids with these types of skills, we need to go teach them. And I'm like, well, we need to talk to the teachers and engage them sort of in a different way. So in terms of the skill, I'm sort of in the middle there, trying to match everything up, pair everything up there. So, and there's a lot of creativity. So you know yourself, as a science communicator, like is taking science, taking technology, anything media, and just communicating it in a fun, energizing, engaging way to kids. So you do need a lot of energy. You're up in front of kids all week. Can be tiring, like you know what I mean. Sometimes you wish you were back in the office in the long hours instead of up in front of 300 kids. But no, real sort of good fun. But yeah, that sort of presenting skills as well, and then that engagement piece of working with a teacher and working with a high, powerful business person who can make decisions and fund you millions. They're very, very different people. Yeah. That high functioning, sort of high level CEO that wants to make a difference and wants to get his business and his people in there teaching out in the community, and then talking to the teachers, and they want sort of people to come in and have that experience of sort of teaching as well. So it's matching them. They both want to do good, but they're completely separate. A teacher and a you know what I mean, business. Very different, but it's just sort of engaging them and taking them in the middle and sort of setting something that we can engage and will make a difference even in the long term as well.
Which is really interesting, you know, from a career point of view, and it sounds also pretty varied as well. So I'm just wondering, obviously it's kind of sixth form type age watching. Is there anything that you would recommend maybe that people could do in terms of their CV when they're applying for obviously unique jobs like yours to make them stand out?
Yeah, just sort of showing like a personality and showing you're sort of going out. It's not all about the academics, especially even from my own experience. If I hadn't got into uni, that was the be all and end all and my life was over. But when you sort of move on and look back, it really wasn't. But it's getting that experience. If there's volunteering or anything, with my job working with a lot of kids, there's a lot of opportunities there with volunteering. You know what I mean? Go to Cub Scouts or absolutely sort of anything there. It's getting that experience then that you can sort of come and deliver as well. It's that outside knowledge, emotional intelligence, all these sort of skills that you can't get from sort of learning in school as well. So it's more the experience than what you sort of have learned. Yeah,
and those skills are incredibly important, and they're obviously important in your career where you're kind of inspiring young people about the wonders of science, and I'm hoping that you're inspiring some of our young people today in terms of career choices. But just to wrap up, what is I love my STEM career, what is the one thing you really love about your career?
Just the absolute diversity of people. I've worked with incredibly technical PhD in maths and physics, and just watching them work is absolutely wonderful. And then with my side, I was more of a communicator. So just people that can just get up and pitch and just distribute information back in such a meaningful way. So it's just the diversity of, even in a small team of 3 or 4, the personalities are so different. Yeah. And you need them as well. You need that really technical whiz kid, and then you need someone then as well that can communicate and sort of feedback this heavy technical information into more simple terms. So yeah, really it is just the people you work with, like it's incredible. As long as you're learning, that's all really I cared about, really. Like, so.
Yeah, and there's kind of a role for everybody and all personalities within that as
well.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Can we get a round of applause for Conor, please? Conor McKay, thank you. Thank you very much.